Hey guys, Paul Morrow here again doing a big news recap for Friday, 22 August. Here we go. First of all, sorry about my eyes, man. My allergies are killing me today. And here in New York City, I can't imagine if I was out among the trees someplace. All day today, I was on Guffeld, I was on Outnumbered. I'm suffering over here. Nothing works. I don't know if anybody out there takes anything that works, but Claritin and all that stuff doesn't work for me. Anyway, let me get to it. First of all, the big news, obviously, is the raid on John Bolton's home pursuant to a search warrant approved by a judge. So before anybody starts saying DOJ's out of control and all of this, remember something. A judge approved this upon application. That's how search warrants work. Now, they had to have probable cause. That means there's probably evidence of a crime in the house. What's that evidence? It's going to be classified stuff, all right? It's going to be classified documents of some sort that he's not supposed to have. Here's the downside. It has to be, I hope, substantive. And if they don't find anything, then feel free to walk away. No harm, no foul. You know, Bolton's going to complain, but he put himself in the box by writing that book that apparently had some verbatim stuff from various classified documents. And I don't buy this idea that he's got a photographic memory, okay? But that said, walk away if there isn't a crime there. And if they get in there and they find folders of actual classified documents, then I'm sorry, he's got to be charged. But what I fear, as I said on the air today, is that all of this looks like a revenge tour. And I don't want that to diminish in any way, to denigrate the, I think, bigger stuff that's coming. Now, maybe this is big stuff too. I don't know what they're going to find. The judge approved it. And according to some sourcing that I have and I'm hearing, it may not be just about the classified documents, it may be a little bit more. So we have to see what it's about. But that said, there's bigger stuff coming that we've been talking about here on the ops desk, okay? The stuff with Comey, the stuff with Brennan, McCabe, potentially Hillary, potentially Barack Obama. These are history-making cases. And I fear that if we're lumping all of this together into the Donald Trump DOJ retaliation extravaganza, that it diminishes the import of those, because I do think that those, according to all the reporting, they are really legitimate from what I've seen so far, and those have to be adjudicated. You got to go all the way with this Russiagate. That cannot happen again. Our intel services and FBI, CIA, DNI, those cannot be weaponized against an American president again in the future. It's just too damn dangerous, and it looks to me like that was done. All right, let's move on. The other thing that you're hearing about today that I think matters is the AutoPen investigation. And they're still looking at the pardons and why these pardons were given. Why? Because it broke this week that DOJ under Joe Biden now, the previous DOJ, literally said, don't call these things pardons for non-violent criminals because it's not accurate. His own DOJ was befuddled by what Biden was doing relative to these pardons. It shows you how bad it was. But here's where this investigation needs to go. And I've talked about this again in the past, and I hope somebody's paying attention here. You got to look at who pushed individual pardons. When it becomes public, or at least it's out among the administration, that the Biden administration is looking to do big pardons, what's going to happen is you're going to get a whole bunch of people coming in with saying, what about my guy? What about this guy? What about that guy? And that stuff's going to come in through the Democrat machine. It's going to come in through congressmen, senators, big donors. And you got to look at individual cases and drill down, because that to me is where the rubber hits the road. Who pushed particular people, some of which were extremely egregious, all right, really violent people who had assaulted kids, etc. Who pushed those? And if you go far enough, I would not be surprised if at the ground level you saw some money change hands. Here's a $10,000 donation to your re-election campaign, Congressman. Can you get my nephew off? All right, that's where you got to go on this, and that's where I hope they're looking. And then finally, I just want to mention one thing. Tune in this Sunday for an excellent podcast that I got to interview Isabel Vincent. Isabel works for the New York Post, which is a national level publication in my eyes these days, along with her co-writer Tom Anderson on the Bob Menendez case, which has a lot more to it than I realized. It wasn't just about Robert Menendez, the senator from New Jersey, who's now doing federal time. Let's just say the name Clinton comes up there too. Paul Morrow for the Ops Desk.